Hey, what's up, Bring the Juice Nation? Cody Felger here. So thankful for each and every one of you this year. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Hope you guys can stay safe out there. Continue to watch our Colts, hopefully root for them all the way to the Super Bowl. That would be awesome. But 2020 has been really good to us, and you guys have been really good to us. And we just wanted to say thank you for that. And hopefully 2021 can be even better for our channel. But just wanted to take a quick moment and say thank you guys, and hope you guys have a happy holidays.
What is up, Colts Nation? It's your boy Michael B. Just wanted to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. I know what I've asked for. I asked Santa to give me a Steelers loss, and so we're going to hope and see that we get it. Love you guys.
How's it going, Colts Nation? Andrew Thomason here. Wanted to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Please enjoy the day with your family and loved ones. Have a happy and safe New Year as well, and take care.
Hey, what's up, Colts Nation? Just here to wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Colts Nation, it's your boy Mike Hill, Colts capital _ Fitty Rap, however you know me, part of the Bring the Juice podcast team. I just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Hope everybody enjoys the time they spend with their family. Stay safe, stay blessed. Appreciate it.
Merry Christmas to you.
On first down, they hand off to Marlon Mack. Huge hole, 50-yard line. He's at the 40, still going near sideline. He's at the 10. He's at the 5, and he will score. Touchdown, Marlon Mack. Touchdown, INDY. And again, it's picked off. It's Darius Leonard. Leonard with his second INT, and he's streaking down the near sideline. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's going to go. A pick six for the Maniac.
Horseshoe is back, baby. The horseshoe is back.
What's up, Colts Nation? Welcome back to the Bring the Juice Colts podcast. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year to all of our listeners. So thankful for you guys. Hope you guys are having a great holiday season. For Derek and myself, we're so happy that you guys chose to tune into this second edition of the Indianapolis Colts Bring the Juice podcast Christmas special. Derek, man, it's Christmas time. How are you feeling? The Colts are winning. The Colts are in playoff position. Play a big game on Sunday. What would be the biggest present? I think for me, the biggest present would be an Indianapolis Colts victory on Sunday. What about you, my man?
Well, as you can all see, I'm not as festive this evening as Cody is.
Right.
I mean, the guy is just all decked out right now, so I apologize for slacking. But, yeah, man, the absolute best Christmas present would be to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. That would be phenomenal, be able to put ourselves in great position for the playoff spot. It actually is said that if the Colts can clinch a playoff spot, if we beat Pittsburgh and either the Ravens or the Dolphins lose on Sunday. So there's a possibility, the Dolphins could lose to the Raiders this upcoming weekend. It is a possibility. So, I'm excited for that one. And you're right. That would be the ultimate Christmas gift there.
It really would be. Yeah. I would love for some of those teams to give us Colts fans an early Christmas present there. I guess a late Christmas present at that point, but that would be certainly awesome. Well, speaking of presents, Derek, before we kind of get into this episode, it's a pretty loaded episode. We got a lot of cool stuff. We're going to, do a segment we did last year, bring that back. And we're also going to do a couple giveaways as well. Before we do that, Derek, because we did this special last year. Obviously, we weren't even to 1,000 subscribers, so we have a lot more new faces here for the second annual special. I'm curious for you, talking about this whole idea of, traditions and presents and all that kind of stuff. What are some traditions that you and your family have done over the years that you really have come to enjoy?
Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot of traditions on my side of the family. As I said last year, most of the time it involves my mother's side of the family and our family getting together, having a get together at either their house or ours. So that's always fun. Always love to see that side of the family every now and again. And I think the only thing that I consistently do every year is I think ever since I was like 10 years old, I used to be the one that wakes up at like 6 a.m. in the morning on Christmas Day and organizes presents. So it'll be like it'll be the dead of morning, no light outside yet. I have a flashlight or my phone going, and I'm looking at all the presents, trying to organize where all this crap's gonna go. So I don't know why. That's just always something I've enjoyed doing, and it's something that I occasionally do. I don't know if I'll do it this year or not, because dude, I freaking waking up at 6 a.m. on Christmas doesn't sound fun anymore. So
Right.
I think might avoid that this year. Ever since my parents got a new house, it's not as easy to do that now. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me, man, when it comes to the traditions. Also, before I let you get into your traditions, I know we're going to do some of the giveaways here today. We have some of those names. I put out on Twitter earlier today that when we hit 5,000 subscribers, and it's knocking right on the door, ladies and gentlemen, it's right there.
Yep.
We're less than 300 subscribers away from doing so as of this moment. If we hit 500 or 5,000 subscribers, I said that we should give away a Colts jersey. I don't know who I'm going to get yet, but I'm going to give away a jersey. We're going to give away a jersey to one of our lucky listeners. We'll see if we can maybe get it autographed. Maybe there's some way we can get that to happen. Maybe one of the Colts players will feel a little bit of late Christmas spirit and try to help somebody out, try to help us out, make somebody happy. But yeah, so that's going to be another giveaway that we'll do at some point later on when we hit 5K. But what's some traditions, man, that you have with your family?
Yeah. So we did a couple already. First off, we always go and see the Christmas lights. Like there's always Christmas lights about an hour away from where we're at that we really go see about every single year. And it's always a good time. We just went this past week. Unfortunately, we weren't able to have, on my mom's side of the family, we weren't able to have Christmas together because my grandpa just had surgery. And so we just didn't want to get, potentially risk that or whatever. But we also make Christmas cookies. So that's always fun. We've done that. We already did that a little bit. We just, we design them and all that fun stuff. And now, yeah, on Christmas morning, this has happened ever since I was a kid. We'll wake up and have Christmas together. We'll have like a breakfast together, and then we'll go do presents together. That's always been such a fun thing that we do. And then this next Sunday, we will, or this coming Sunday, we will meet with my dad's side of the family. We all live within a few miles of each other, so it's like we're right there. So, but those are some of my Christmas traditions. And I guess, Derek, also, in addition to that, what is your favorite Colts-related present that you have ever received?
Man, I have to go back to Christmas of last year. My aunt and uncle got me a Colts ornament that is basically a blimp. It's Colts blimp. It's from a guy that had his own private collection, and they were just happened to be looking around, and they saw this Colts ornament wrapped up, and they were like, "Oh, let's give that to him." I've had a couple jerseys and a couple other things Colts related, but that Colts ornament I think is one of the coolest things that I've gotten because it's an actual collector's item. So I think that's probably the coolest thing I've ever gotten.
That's really cool. Mine's not an actual thing. It's a memory that I had. So this was dating all the way back a few years ago. And gosh, now that I say a few years ago, it was about 8 years ago, Andrew Luck's rookie year. So at that point, the Colts, this was like the last game of the season. So right around this time, the Colts were going to play the Texans at home, right? And the Texans had won the division at that point, but the Colts still had a similar record to them. And so we got for Christmas, basically what it was like, my parents got us all tickets to the game, and we were going with other friends as well. And so we all got to go together. It was an awesome game. The Colts won in pretty dominating fashion. And I always remember this name because of that game, Deji Kareem. I don't even know if you remember that name. He wasn't on the Colts very long. I remember because he returned a kick for a touchdown in that game. And also Vontae Davis had 2 interceptions. The Colts thoroughly dominated the Texans in that game. And so I always remember that. And then after the fact, we actually went to a water park in Indianapolis. I don't think it's there anymore, but we went there and just kind of relaxed for a few days. So that was definitely one of my favorite memories. Favorite Christmas gift for sure. Yeah, like you said, I've gotten a couple jerseys. Last year I got the Darius Leonard jersey, which I'm wearing right now. It's hard to see it, but yeah, that's awesome, man. That's so cool. I would love to hear.
It's
Yeah, go
funny
ahead.
that you mention. It's funny that you mention like Christmas games because I'm in the same boat as you. This is probably like 10 years ago that it was the year before Andrew Luck became a Colt. Right? It was that
Okay.
season where the Colts went. What was it? 2-14 and got the number 1 overall pick. My
Yep.
parents got me got tickets for our family to go to the last home game against the Titans. And I specifically remember that game because we were very close to the front and we are actually at midfield too. And ironically, I don't think tickets were that pricey that year for obvious reasons. But I specifically remember that game because Donald Brown broke the game winning touchdown with about 1:37 left, and the Colts ended up winning the game. So as we could tell, the Colts didn't need Andrew Luck to beat the Titans. They just continue to do that anyways. So, but yeah, that was really fun, dude. That was really a lot of freaking fun. We actually had a picture that my mom still has, I think, of somebody took a picture of us as a family, and there was a camera guy on the floor or on the field behind us, and he posed in the picture with us as we're taking the picture. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was a really good day.
That's awesome. Those are so much fun, man. Those are such great memories that'll last forever. That's awesome, dude. Yeah. Before we move on to our next segment, I'd love to for our listeners to comment some of your favorite traditions or favorite Colts gifts you've ever received. That would be awesome. But transitioning now, Derek, to the next segment. So we did this last year. We actually kind of forgot what we did last year, so I had to re-listen to it. We did this whole segment called Naughty or Nice. So essentially what we did is we took all the unrestricted free agents, all the people who are going to potentially not be in a Colts uniform this next season. Their contract has expired. And we're going to basically say, do we think they're naughty, which means they don't deserve a contract extension, they get Cole, or are they nice, or they get an extension with Indianapolis? And so we're going to start with the offense. We'll talk about the defense a little bit as well. Some of these guys obviously are more special teams guys, but I still put them on the list because if you've listened to this podcast, we probably talked about them at one point or another in the podcast. So we'll start first with the offense. The first obvious name is Phillip Rivers. Signed a 1-year, $25 million deal in the offseason. Has played really, really good football as of recent. Almost to 4,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, only to 9 interceptions. Has looked really, really good, especially recently, Derek. So if you were having to choose between bringing Rivers back, being nice, or putting him on the naughty list, where would you stand here with Phillip Rivers?
Now, again, I want to remind people, this does not mean we think they are going to get an extension. We're just talking from the standpoint of whether or not we believe they're actually going to get an extension. And I mean, Cody, I think you're in agreement with me on here. I got to put him on the nice list here. He definitely deserves another chance with Indianapolis. He has shown that after the first half of the season and getting through some of the kinks in this offense, he's shown that he's more than capable of keeping this offense afloat. And he definitely adds another element that we don't currently have on the roster. Now, what do the Colts do with the quarterback situation and the draft? We don't know. We're going to have a lot of discussions about that in the offseason. But from what it stands right now, it's definitely a easy decision to say that Phillip Rivers deserves an extension for at least another year. And hopefully we get him on a good, friendly deal. I would love to see Phillip Rivers, at least, even if he's not starting the whole way, would love to see him back in an Indy uniform.
Yeah, I think he's definitely earned that contract. I would agree with you there. I would undoubtedly probably one of the more yeses, definite yeses for me on this list. Definitely would bring him back. All right, let's talk about the other quarterback on this list, Jacoby Brissett. Now, the Colts have used him a little bit more than we thought they might. They've used him a lot in short yardage situations. And Frank Reich recently has actually talked about potentially, bringing him back. And that's something we never would have thought. But I'm curious what your thoughts are, Derek, on potentially bringing Jacoby Brissett back for another year with the Colts.
It's weird how that situation is, right? It really is weird because, all at the beginning of the season, we all said Jacoby Brissett's probably going to want to go somewhere else, right? Or we don't really want to give him the kind of money that he wants to, be around. And, He definitely deserves an extension of some kind to be with Indy. I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't think he deserves it and he shouldn't be on the naughty list, because what he doesn't provide on the field as much, he provides off the field when you're talking about a locker room presence and a guy that's on the sidelines being that cheerleader alongside Darius Leonard. He is that guy, right? He provides that passion and that leadership and that just overall morale in the locker room. And, that's just the kind of guy that he is. And, for taking it like a champ too, taking what happened this year with his starting spot being taken away from him by Phillip Rivers and taking it like a champ, just saying, okay, I get it. It sucks that it happened, but I'm going to do what I need to do to help this team win. And if that means coming in for a few plays throughout the game to help with some third downs or fourth downs, or whether that's me just celebrating with my guys in the locker room and on the sideline, then that's what I'm going to do. And I love that about him. Obviously, the Colts are not going to give him $10 million next year to play backup quarterback. So I think that if he's willing to stick around, I don't know if he's going to or not, but if he's willing to stick around for a smaller contract, then yes, I definitely think he deserves to be stay in this locker room for sure.
Yeah, that was the point I was going to make. It's like you're not going to be paying him what you're paying him this season. So if you can get him on a really cheap deal, like I don't see why not. I mean, you're using him. He's being effective. He's helping you win football games. So why wouldn't you bring him back? And also, if you need to develop like a Jacob Eason, say, for another year, or you go and draft a quarterback and you want to develop another guy, like you still have that safety net there. So I really definitely agree. I think it really, like you said, depends on if Brissett wants to be here. If he does and is willing to take, pretty small deal, pretty reasonable deal, I would bring him back. Honestly, I think he could be on my nice list. It's like he's on the nice list if he wants to be. That's kind of
right.
Yeah. So
you can't even blame him. You can't even blame him either for wanting to potentially go somewhere else. I mean, because he did mention that he might want to try and test his luck somewhere else that might need a starter. How many teams need a new starting quarterback? I don't know, but I mean, I wouldn't fault him if he decided to.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's totally fair. I mean, that's why Joe Haig last offseason left Indianapolis for potentially. Now, it didn't happen. It didn't really come to fruition, but potentially a starting spot with Tampa Bay. So I definitely agree with you there. I wouldn't fault Jacoby Brissett if he decided, I want to go see what's out there for me. I don't know how big the market would be for him, but hey, if he has a chance to start, Jacoby, go for it, man. Go for it. We would definitely support you in that. All right, let's move over now to running back, Marlon Mack. We haven't talked about Marlon Mack at all this year. He's been out the entire year, but a year removed from a 1,000-yard season, was a really effective back in 2019, was really looking good. Even 2018, even though he didn't play a full 16-game spread, he still was really, really effective. So we've seen the emergence of Jonathan Taylor a little bit, especially recently. And I know a lot of people, including us a little bit, when Jonathan Taylor got drafted, we're like, Mack's gone, man. We're not bringing him back. But the more and more I see how much Marlon Mack has helped Jonathan Taylor, the more and more I see him just as such a great locker room guy, kind of what we talked about with Jacoby Brissett, the more and more I'm inclined to say he's on the nice list for me, man. I really think he should be one of those guys. I say Rivers is probably the top guy on offense. You definitely bring back. I think Mack's right there too. I really do. He what he provides for this team. And just think about, like, the Colts like to use that running back by committee with Jonathan Taylor and Marlon Mack at full strength. Man, this rushing attack, it's already been pretty good recently. Like, man, that's what we talked about in the offseason. Why we were so hyped, man. Like, these guys can help each other stay more durable, help each other with the mileage, all that kind of stuff, and just help encourage each other and learn from each other, honestly. So I'm on the nice list for Mack. Where do you stand here for Marlon Mack?
Yeah, you pretty much said it completely, that Marlon Mack and JT, what we thought they would be able to do, what this rushing attack is doing now is what we thought Marlon Mack and JT would be able to bring from the very beginning. And yeah, what Marlon Mack has done for Jonathan Taylor in regards to helping to pick his mind, right? Being able to learn from a guy that's been in the league for several years, knows how to run behind an offensive line like this one. I think Jonathan Taylor's finally learning that. And I think totally deserves and warrants a top running back coming back on a good deal. I think he is on the nice list because Marlon Mack, we all gave him a lot of crap, right? And Colts fans and Colts media all kind of said the same thing, that Marlon Mack, his presence won't be that missed, right at the beginning. And then when we saw Jonathan Taylor and Jordan Wilkins struggle to even get like 70 yards of rushing offense for like several weeks on end, we were like, this is why we missed Marlon Mack. This is why, because you got an inexperienced running back and Jordan Wilkins, who's just not able to get anything going. This is exactly why we needed Mack. So I would definitely be okay with bringing back Marlon Mack, because Mack, Taylor, and Hines, that running back room, that's the best running back room in the whole NFL, man. And you can't tell me otherwise.
No, I definitely agree, especially with the emergence of Taylor. I mean, yeah, I feel like he's just learned like a lot about, obviously patience is one thing. Breaking tackles, he's been a lot better at that. And then ball security, he's put the ball on the ground one time this whole year. And that was like the biggest question mark coming in for Jonathan Taylor, was that. And I credit Marlon Mack partially. Obviously, I credit Tom Rathman, who's a phenomenal coach. In my opinion, the best positional running backs coach in the league. But it seems like with whoever he's given, he teaches them how to really become really successful running backs in the league. But I definitely agree with you, Mac, there. All right, so we're going to kind of, because we could be here all day talking about this, I'm going to kind of categorize all this into one position and kind of just get your thoughts on each guy. I guess we can spend a little bit more time on T.Y. Hilton first, because for obvious reasons. T.Y. is, having a kind of down year, at least from his standards, but recently he's been really turning it on. I know, Derek, at certain points we were like, do we bring back T.Y. Hilton? But he's kind of, for me at least, proving more and more, I would bring him back. He's proven really, really good stuff, and we know the kind of veteran presence he provides. Him and Phillip Rivers have had a really good connection as of recent, so I'd probably put him on my nice list right now. Where do you stand on T.Y. Hilton?
Yeah, there were multiple times you and I had him on the naughty list. I mean, before he went on this four-week stretch. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we said it in a live stream about a week ago that we were really high strung on T.Y. Hilton. We said, I don't know if we bring him back at this point. He's showing a little bit of old age, and now all of a sudden he looks like the number one wide receiver all over again. I mean, apparently, and this is why the Colts get paid to play football, and this is why we don't, and we just cover the team, because they knew that Phillip Rivers knew that T.Y. Hilton was this close to doing something. We just needed to get him involved. And sure enough, that's exactly what just happened. So, and T.Y. Hilton over these last 4 games, his presence cannot be understated. He has actually helped us win basically over these last 3 games. Against Houston the first time, had his best game of the whole year. Then against the Raiders had 2 touchdowns. And then has the clutch catch at the end of the game to put us in position to score another touchdown to win the game again against Houston. I mean, T.Y. Hilton is just showing you again how this team just runs differently when he's playing at a good level. He doesn't have to play at an elite wide receiver level. He just needs to be out there doing something. And that's great to know. And I like his leadership. I like who he is as a guy and being that mentor for the younger guys. So I definitely am all for him being on the nice list and getting some kind of extension out there.
Yeah, speaking of number one receivers, the Colts 2019 number one receiver in terms of stats, Zach Pascal, is a free agent this season. He just had a really, really good game against Houston. Seems like he's never like the most flashy guy in the world, but he always makes a couple key plays per game that really just stand out. So I think unquestionably Zach Pascal's on the nice list for me as well. Would you agree with that, Derek?
Yeah, I mean, so far we're only getting nice lists when it comes to this offense here, but yeah, totally nice on the Zach Pascal thing for sure. I mean, as a guy who's our number 4 receiver, when it comes to how this list goes down, because we originally say, it was T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman, and then a lot of people were saying, Paris Campbell because of the ability that he has. But Zach Pascal this year has really been our number 2 at times number one wide receiver again at certain points this year before T.Y. Hilton started picking it up and before Michael Pittman started figuring out some of his groove. Zach Pascal's been that guy. And right now he looks like the number two wide receiver at this point. And when you're when you're playing like a number two wide receiver on this team, you definitely deserve to have an extension. And, coming from a guy that was an undrafted free agent in 2018 or 2017, to now where he is with the Colts now in 2020. I mean, talk about a great story. You'd see very few of these in the NFL turn out as good as they are in Zach Pascal, and he definitely deserves it. He's on the nice list.
Yeah. All right, I have a couple more receivers, and I'll just read them off to you, and you tell me which guys are naughty, which guys are nice. So Marcus Johnson, DeMichael Harris, Ashton Doolin. Those are the three other receivers. I'm sorry, I said four. Three other receivers. Where would you stand on all three of those guys?
Well, you certainly have your options open here, especially when you have guys like Desmond Patman that are potentially coming in. And, what do we have in Darius Fountain still? Is he going to get a shot? But from what I've seen in regards to how this offense likes to run, DeMichael Harris is definitely one that I would say definitely is the nice list there. And just for a big playmaker, I say the nice list is Marcus Johnson, because Marcus Johnson showed you a couple games early in the season that this guy can get involved and he can make the big play. Now with that, and then Ashton Doolin, I don't know. For me, it's probably the naughty list here, because we're seeing other times where, I know he's a special teams guy, and I know, Cody, you love that about him, but he's not doing a ton for me on the receiving game here. And, with special teams, I'm not seeing a lot of impact this year also in regards to him. We got Hines and Rogers that are able to do a lot of other things for us. So Doolin's on the naughty list for me, and DeMichael Harris and Marcus Johnson are on the nice list right now.
I'm disappointed.
I know you are.
But I would argue that Ashton Doolin's been injured for most of the season. That's probably why you haven't seen him. But I would probably bring all these guys back. Honestly, what's the harm in it at this point? Like, bring them all back and just have some guys on your practice squad. Like, we've seen these different guys, Marcus Johnson, DeMichael Harris, Ashton Doolin, they've all been on the practice squad at some point this season. So I would definitely just keep them there. I mean, you've said it. They've all shown, well, at least Johnson and Harris have shown they can be capable weapons when needed. But, especially if you go and address wide receiver again, maybe one of these guys will be the odd man out. But I would bring them all back for training camp. Why not? All right. Two tight ends here, Trey Burton and Mo Alley Cox. What are you thinking on both these guys?
Trey Burton and Mo Alley Cox. Well, for me personally, I have both of these guys on the nice list. They both need to come back. What we've seen from both of these guys throughout this whole season, Trey Burton has shown when healthy, he adds another dimension when it comes to this Colts offense. You can use him in the Wildcat down in the red zone. He has that ability to do that, and he's had a lot of great routes this year. We said early on this year when he first got his first action against Chicago, everyone said, why are we targeting him so much? Why? And it was like that for a couple weeks. And then when Cincinnati game came around and then things started shifting like that, Trey Burton started showing you why he's worth coming here. I really like Trey Burton. I loved the signing when we got him. I really hope he continues to stay as well. And Mo Alley Cox, I mean, we've already seen what he's capable of doing. And, Jack Doyle's not getting any younger. So, he's going to be another one of those guys that's going to have to fill that role. We know how much the Colts love their tight ends and how they use them. So, yeah, both of these guys, definitely nice lists, need to be extended.
I agree with you there. And then the last two, I'm just going to say naughty right now. LaRaven Clark, Chaz Green, no thank you for me. I'm assuming you're the same way, Derek, because both these guys are horrendous offensive tackles.
We're going to have to figure something out at that left tackle position. But yeah, I mean, definitely a naughty list for me. Neither one of them have really shown any kind of salvageability at all at the left tackle position.
Like, part of me is still shocked that Chris Ballard assumed that we'd be fine just re-signing LaRaven Clark. Like, I'm kind of shocked he didn't go out and try to find a backup tackle. That was his biggest, I think.
Yeah,
I think his biggest mess up this past
that was
offseason.
yeah, that was. And when your offensive line has maintained pretty much healthy status through all of 2019, you overshadow that a little bit. And it was the first thing that Chris Ballard did in the offseason. Remember, that was the first move he made before he even got DeForest Buckner. It was re-signing Anthony Costanzo. So he told himself, okay, well, I'm set. At least for this year, I'm set. But then, we didn't anticipate Costanzo to get hurt, and then he did. And, we have to suffer the consequences of our backup left tackle. But so, I don't anticipate Chris Ballard making that mistake this offseason. I think there is going to be something that's done.
There better be, or else we're in big trouble, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's move over to the defense now. Lots of defensive linemen on this list here, and I'll just read them all off. We'll just run right through it because we've probably been talking for a while here. Danico Autry, Justin Houston, Al-Qadi Muhammad. Those are your ends. Sheldon Day, I guess he was already released, but Stallworth as well. Which of these guys would you potentially bring back, and which guys would you say are on your naughty list?
Well, I'll start with Stallworth, and I will definitely say Stallworth is on the nice list. I would say he deserves to come back. Stallworth has been a very pivotal, basically just a pivotal bench piece for us, being that second rep guy that comes in alongside Grover Stewart or alongside DeForest Buckner, or in certain packages where he needs to be the nose guard. He's done a phenomenal job in the run defense. He has been great for the cost that we got him, basically for almost nothing. He definitely deserves to be brought back on something this year. Like I said, another just depth piece that he's just been phenomenal at filling that role. And for Justin Houston for me is an automatic sign. Even though Houston's 32 years old, he said, I don't know when I'll give it up, but I know I got more juice in me. I know I still got enough energy in me that I can still keep going. And look, he's been one of the top 15 best defensive ends in all of the NFL at getting pressure on the quarterback. The sack numbers may not be amazing, but he does get pressure on the quarterback pretty consistently compared to a lot of other defensive ends. So Houston, and also, again, what Houston provides in the leadership and the morale part of the team, right? We all have seen the team gather rounds in the field where Justin Houston's the one that's hyping them up before the game. That's what I love. I love guys like that because they're the voices that you can't teach that. That just happens. That's just who guys are. And that's why I love Justin Houston. Now, when we're talking about Danico Autry and Al-Qadi Muhammad, see, now, here's my thing. I don't know, because I like Muhammad. I don't know how much he's really stepped up this year based off of what kind of expectations we've had. And, we have other defensive ends that I feel could become that way. But, we kind of anticipated Ben Banigou to be that, right? And this whole year he's been a healthy scratch because Eberflus has been telling us that, it's how you practice. It's how you get things done. So Ben Banigou's been ready to play. It's just in practice, he's just not doing enough to warrant that spot. So does he pick it up this next offseason? I don't know. Does he get it through his head and maybe make an adjustment? I don't know. And Danico Autry, we've already seen what Danico Autry's been doing this year. I mean, he's got 7.5, 8 sacks. So, I mean, he's right there with what he was in 2018. This is exactly what we wanted in Danico Autry. I know Danico Autry is a lot older than Al-Qadi Muhammad, but for me personally, I'm putting Muhammad on the naughty list, and maybe he comes back. I think, honestly, you could probably afford to bring him back, but he's on the naughty list for me because I'm just not sure if I can get something for him. And then Danico is on my nice list because I know Danico's older, but I'm still seeing production out of him. I'm still seeing the production at a new position from Danico Autry than I'd seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. I think Danico Autry deserves it. I mean, the last 2 out of 3 seasons, he's been at the top of the Colts sack list. So I think even just as a rotational piece, he's very valuable in that. He can play defensive tackle, he can play defensive end, he can do all those different things for you. So I definitely agree with you, Derek. I think potentially could be a really really valuable piece for this team moving forward. So I would probably say, yeah, I would bring him back. He's on my nice list, but Al-Qadim Muhammad probably not, honestly, because, Ben Banogu, potentially, I think the Colts will probably go out and try to address the defensive end position a little bit as well in this offseason. Even if you do bring back Justin Houston, maybe it's more of a situational pass rusher type of thing, because you mentioned he's 32 years old. He's got some juice left. So if you bring him back for a year or something like that, maybe you try to find your future at defensive end while kind of having a guy that's there. He's been there for a couple of years, and he can kind of be the bridge to the next guy. So, yeah, I'd probably say out of all those guys, Autry and Houston and Stallworth would be my 3 that I bring back, and Muhammad probably would let walk. And speaking of walk, this is kind of a cool transition. Anthony Walker. I know, Derek, you love Anthony Walker. You've loved, and Darius Leonard also loves Anthony Walker. So I'm assuming he's going to be on your nice list here for the Colts potentially bringing him back this offseason.
Yes, I absolutely am in agreement with that. I do believe that A-Walk at the right price should definitely be re-signed, and he is on the nice list. This guy has done everything you've asked him to be as a middle linebacker and the leader of the middle of your defense. He's been a tackle leader on this team. He's been the captain, and he was through thick and thin what they've wanted to do when Darius Leonard wasn't there at first. He has helped set the foundation of what it is now. And now you've got pieces around him in Darius Leonard and Bobby Okereke who allow you to do more things. So I like Anthony Walker. I want to continue to keep him here. And honestly, I don't think Anthony Walker is going to be a guy that's going to be demanding top tier money. I just don't see that as Anthony Walker. But again, I'm all for the Colts bringing him back. I know a lot of people say, well, you can invest that money into something else. I don't necessarily see what, but I think that the Colts should consider putting Walker on the extended list, because I really like him, and he definitely is on my nice list.
See, the thing is, like, people say you can go draft the guy. Why would you waste a draft pick on another guy when you could just bring your guy back for a pretty reasonable price, I'm assuming, like you said, and Anthony Walker. And what he doesn't do on the field is just, even if he's not on the field, he's still a great captain on that defense. And I really want him back in terms of that for what he offers, more veteran leadership. And also he's a young guy still, so he still has room to improve and grow. 5th round pick of Chris Ballard's in 2017. Kind of crazy to think about that now. He's developed into a nice little player there for the Colts. All right, moving on to the defensive backs now. So we got 2 guys, 2 free agent acquisitions this past offseason. The first one, Xavier Rhodes. Xavier Rhodes, what can you say about him? He's had a phenomenal season after 2 really struggling years in Minnesota. He's looked really good. TJ Carey's also looked really good in limited snaps as well. He has a pick 6 on the year, and also he has another touchdown. So he also helps with the special teams. That's where he recovered the second touchdown that he scored. So I'd probably, Derek, in my opinion, bring both these guys back. At least on 1-year deals. They're probably both make my nice list. Where do you stand on Xavier Rhodes and TJ Carey?
Oh, yeah, both of these guys are on my nice list. They have both stepped into their roles much better than what any Colts fan definitely thought they would have. I mean, I've seen plenty of people think that TJ Carey was not going to provide anything for this team, really. He might be a tackling guy, but that's all he's going to be. And sure enough, he's had multiple touchdowns on the year from special teams plays and interceptions. So this guy's been phenomenal. And Xavier Rhodes, I mean, what the heck can you say about him? Looks like the former All-Pro himself. I mean, sure, he's not as fast as he once was, but I mean, he definitely looks very, very good and has played the part this season, no question about it. And for the contract that we did get him for, I mean, he definitely was worth the price of admission. So these 2 definitely are on my nice list. And we kind of talked a little bit during the beginning of the season about, how important is cornerback to the Colts when it comes to the draft this year, Could we potentially see them get somebody? I don't know. Maybe that would be a way to get rid of maybe a guy like TJ Carey. But I mean, at least if you don't address it in this draft, you do have a safe goat that, both of these guys have shown that they're very capable.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, you definitely have a safe haven there, a little bit of room for addressing other positions. So I definitely bring those guys back. All right, 2 safeties to round it out here: George Odom, Tavon Wilson. If you're making me choose George Odom, for sure, he's a special teams ace, leads the NFL in tackles on special teams. Crazy, he was a Pro Bowl snub there. Tavon Wilson hasn't really done a whole lot. He's been more of just a depth piece, but he's played some decent snaps when he's been in there. So I'd probably re-sign Odom, probably not Wilson. Do you kind of stand there too, Derek?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Definitely George Odom, very quality depth piece at safety. And like you said, with the special teams, there's nobody in the league that's better at making tackles on special teams than George Odom. And that's what you love about that guy. And, I love Tavon Wilson, has definitely been a spark for this team's defense and on the sidelines too. He's been one of those guys. I love that about him. But, if we had to get rid of him for something else, then I'll probably say on the naughty list. But I would not be opposed to bringing Tavon back, though.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. All right. Cool. Well, that'll do it for the second annual naughty or nice list here for the 2020 Indianapolis Colts. All right. Here we go, Derek. The moment that our listeners have been waiting for. You guys have waited so patiently. Thank you for doing that. We are doing not 1, but 2 giveaways here in this video. The first one we've been promoting a lot. I'm going to pull it up here.
He's getting the hat.
Colts. Yes. Indianapolis Colts throwback hat. Let me pop it up here. Fantastic. Nice. I've worn mine around. I have another one just like it, and it's super comfortable. I really enjoy it, and I know a lot of people are wanting this hat, so we'll be sure to give that away. And then the second one, I don't have it physically with me, but I'll put a picture probably up in the right-hand or left-hand corner there. It's going to be a Colts Christmas ornament for the other name that we draw here for this giveaway. So, Derek, for our first giveaway winner, all right. We ready for this? Are our listeners ready for this?
We're ready.
I'm ready for this. Excited for it. All right. Here we go. I'm going to put a drum roll sound effect in right here, and it's going to be awesome. All right. The winner of the Indianapolis Colts throwback hat is
Mike Thomas. Mike Thomas from Twitter at MikeD91893. Mike Thomas, congratulations. You are the winner of the Indianapolis Colts throwback hat. Thank you so much for being in the giveaway, man.
Congratulations, Mike. All right. Christmas ornament. Here we go. The winner of the Indianapolis Colts Bring the Juice podcast Christmas ornament is
Chris Kramer from Instagram at Colts_fan_Chris. Chris Kramer is the winner of the Colts ornament. Congratulations, Chris, and thank you for entering in the giveaway.
Yep, we will be DMing both of you here, getting your information so we can get both of these items sent your way. But awesome. We did it. We finally did it. And like Derek said earlier, we're going to do a jersey giveaway here once we reach 5,000 subs. So be sure to check that out and be ready for that. But unless you got anything else, Derek, this was a good episode, a little bit longer, but I thought it was very productive.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And thank you to everyone that has been on this journey. It's been a lot, and Cody and I have been doing a lot as well recently, and it's been really crazy with the podcast and just dealing with real life right now. But thank you to everyone again. Hope you all have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Definitely hope you all enjoy your weekend, and whether that's filled with family, whether that's filled with presents or food or sports or none of the above, but it's as long as you're all alive and doing what you do, then that's all that matters. Again, all of you need to stay safe out there. And thank you to everyone that supports us on this podcast.
Yeah, 2020 from our standpoint, really good year. A lot has happened. Like I said, compared to last year, we are at a whole different spot, and I'm so excited, man, to see what 2021 holds. And it's all thanks to you guys, our listeners. We really appreciate every single one of you for all your support of us. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Thanks so much for Derek and myself. And as always,